Hello everyone, this is Bumei. Today, I want to share a fantasy novel that circles gently around the life of a dentist. Its world isn't large or complicated, yet it grows quietly page by page, until you suddenly realize you've stepped into a place shaped by old beliefs, broken trust, and the small, intimate moments that reveal who someone truly is. The story is told through the eyes of a man who works as a dentist, but his life is far from ordinary. Before he arrived in the human world, he belonged to a different race, a people who followed strict traditions that he could no longer abide by. Leaving that place was the only choice he had. So he built a calm, uneventful life among humans, hoping a steady routine would help him forget the weight he once carried. But silence doesn't last forever. One day, a silver-haired boy walks into his clinic, and that small moment becomes the crack that lets the past seep back in. Through the patients he treats and the encounters he never expected, he begins to sense that the beliefs he grew up holding so tightly might not have been the truth at all. Pieces don't fit the way they should. Old teachings feel distorted, and he finds himself asking the quiet question at the center of this story. When everything you trusted starts shifting, where do you place your faith? Among all the threads woven into this novel, the relationship between two characters touched me the most. They were once close, truly close, until differing doctrines slowly pushed them apart, as if invisible forces were pulling them in opposite directions. There's a sadness in that kind of distance, the kind where both sides still care, yet neither knows how to reach out. And yet, as truth gradually rises to the surface, they begin to see each other clearly again. The hesitations don't vanish, but they choose to move toward one another anyway. There's something very gentle about that, the courage to trust again after being hurt, the willingness to listen even when uncertainty remains. It's one of the warmest parts of the entire book, and the reason the truth is finally able to emerge. Another part of the story that brought me small joy is the group of characters from the Black Dragon tribe. Whenever they appear, the atmosphere shifts, lighter, brighter, almost playful. In a world that's heavy with conflict and secrets, their presence feels like a breeze passing through a quiet room. And the clinic's other characters, the doctor, the assistant, even the ones who seem like passers-by, all hold their own quiet stories. Watching them interact made me think that perhaps it's natural for people with hidden depths to gravitate toward one another. There's also a little boy who seems harmless at first glance. But the more I read, the more I felt that his innocence might be a veil covering something far more complicated. Some characters don't reveal their power openly, and instead let it linger in their silence and in the spaces between their words. The protagonist's connection to his long-lost benefactor is another thread that stayed with me. Though that person is no longer alive, the warmth they left behind remains, a letter, a memory, a promise that he was never forgotten. Knowing that someone once cared deeply enough to keep searching for him is the kind of gentle devotion that can steady a person's heart and help them move forward again. Then there is Mr. Wang, a character whose flaws are real, but whose intentions are rooted in genuine concern. His guilt, his confusion, his wish to repair what he damaged, all of it felt honest. His reaction isn't the frustration of someone who is angry. It is the hurt of someone who believed. They shared a bond without secrets. Because he values that connection so much, he chooses to remain by the protagonist's side when it matters most. When everything finally settles, and life begins to return to a gentle rhythm, the protagonist still hesitates to go back to where he came from. But in his heart, he knows. That place is home. The human world carries his attachments. The Silver Dragon tribe carries his origins. Both are parts of him. Neither can be abandoned. And I believe that one day, when the two worlds open to each other again, he will be able to walk back freely, not as someone running away, but as someone who has finally made peace with every part of himself. That's all for today's sharing. The book I talked about is Non-Human Dentist by Sagan. If you enjoy stories that look simple on the surface, but quietly unfold layers of truth, belief, and longing, this novel might linger with you too. Thank you for listening. I'm Bu Mei, and I'll see you next time.